When I was 12, I found out that my father was a priest because before that, I'd been told he was a lecturer. But being quite inquisitive and nosy, I'd always sensed that something was amiss and that there was information I wasn't being told. So my mother she was very fearful before that. She'd been made to feel very fearful about ever revealing his identity. But by then, she'd found more confidence to tell me that he was a priest.
Sarah's parents met at a university in London in the 1970s. Her mum was studying theology, her father was training to be a priest.
When he found out that she was pregnant, he was very upset and broke off the relationship that day and never spoke to her again on his own. So after that, he went through a sort of go-between priest who was a more senior priest and his mentor. And this senior priest decided that it would be possible for my father to go on and become a priest as long as my mother and the baby, eventually as the baby grew up, which was me, were in cahoots with this plan of secrecy as well. So my father went on to be ordained when I was about a month old.
Sarah was determined to meet her father. Eventually, he agreed to see her.
It didn't go quite as I was imagining. In my naivety, I'm watching chat shows and things where people run towards each other and they start crying and then they're friends forever and ever. That's kind of how my friends and I had thought it was going to go, but actually it was a bit different. He was very aloof and cold and had, I think, previously decided the outcome of the meeting. He contributed here and there, and the financial payments that he has made have been one of the most helpful things that he's done. They were often accompanied by letters reinforcing the secrecy and the silencing. So if you ever talk about this or identify him as the father, then the money will stop, sort of thing, which I've since found out fits into the confidentiality agreements that other mothers have had to sign, where the church agrees to give them money as long as they don't talk and the child doesn't talk about the father's identity. To be fair, my father feels that he has done everything he can in his power to be a father, but I think it's very confusing. The guidelines for priests and how they're told to treat their children is very confusing, and there's no way that they can reconcile being a celibate priest with having a child. It just can't work. We write the occasional letter to each other, and he very kindly sends money for my children's birthdays, and that feels probably like the most fatherly thing at the moment. But when someone's consistently put their own needs before the needs of their child, it doesn't feel like a safe environment to trust that person, because you're always wondering if you're going to get hurt again.